It began with a note, a simple, heartfelt message scribbled on a napkin. Timothy Murphy Johnson, a seemingly regular guy, left this note for his wife Molly at their usual breakfast spot. The note read, "I love you more than bacon," a playful yet sincere declaration of his affection. This small act of love was meant to brighten Molly's day, a simple gesture to show his appreciation. Timothy, always one to capture moments, decided to document it. He snapped a photo of the napkin and posted it online with the caption, "Just trying to make my girl smile." Little did he know, this post would resonate with millions. The internet exploded with shares, likes and comments. Timothy's sweet gesture went viral, shared millions of times across various platforms. People from all over the world were touched by his simple act of love. He was hailed as the perfect husband, embodying romance in a cynical world. Strangers admired his devotion, and many wished for a love like his. News outlets clamoured to interview him, eager to share the story of the man who had captured the hearts of so many. Timothy, charming and charismatic, basked in the limelight. He appeared on morning shows, talk shows, and even late-night TV. His story was everywhere, and he handled the attention with grace and humility. This was Timothy's introduction to the world, a devoted husband deeply in love. His relationship with Molly became the epitome of romance, a beacon of hope for many. But little did anyone know this was just the first act in a twisted story about to unfold. Behind the scenes, not everything was as perfect as it seemed. The world was about to learn that even the most picture-perfect love stories can have dark, hidden chapters. The fairy tale facade crumbled a year later. Molly Johnson was found dead in the couple's home. The official cause accidental drowning in the bathtub. The news shocked everyone. How could this happen to the woman who seemed to have it all? To the woman loved by the perfect husband? Timothy, overcome with grief, gave a tearful interview. He spoke of their love, their dreams, and the unbearable pain of losing her. The public grieved with him, offering condolences and support. The story, once a celebration of love, became a tragedy. But as time passed, whispers started to emerge. Whispers that maybe, just maybe, things weren't as they seemed. 3 years after Molly's death, Timothy's life took another unexpected turn. He was arrested, but not for anything related to Molly. This time, it was assault, a violent bar fight that left another man hospitalized. The charges shocked those who still remembered the loving husband from the viral photo. The mask was slipping. Then came the trial, and with it, more disturbing revelations. Witnesses described a man prone to fits of rage, easily triggered, controlling and possessive. The jury found Timothy guilty. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. The man who once charmed the world with a love note was now a convicted criminal. But the story didn't end there, not even close. Whispers of doubt, the family's unshakable suspicions. From the beginning, Molly's family had doubts about Timothy. They had always felt an unease around him, a sense that something was not quite right. It wasn't just his demeanor, but the way he seemed to manipulate situations to his advantage. They saw a darkness in him that the world, blinded by his viral fame, couldn't see. While others were captivated by his charm and charisma, Molly's family saw through the facade. They noticed the subtle signs of his true nature, the fleeting moments when his mask would slip. They pointed to his controlling behavior, his quick temper, and his possessive nature. These were not just occasional outbursts, but consistent patterns that painted a troubling picture. Timothy's need to dominate every aspect of Molly's life was evident to those who looked closely. They questioned inconsistencies in Timothy's account of Molly's death. His story seemed rehearsed, lacking the genuine emotion one would expect from a grieving partner. The more they delved into the details, the more discrepancies they found. The position of her body, the way she was found, raised more questions than answers. It didn't align with the narrative Timothy had provided, the lack of a typical drowning scene, the missing evidence. There were no signs of a struggle, no water in her lungs, and no clear indication of how she ended up in the lake. It was as if the scene had been staged. They believed Timothy, fueled by jealousy and rage, had harmed Molly before. His jealousy was not just a fleeting emotion, but a deep-seated issue that had caused numerous arguments and confrontations. They shared stories of bruises, arguments, and the times Molly had confided in them about Timothy's violent tendencies. Each bruise, each tear, was a testament to the torment she had endured, and hushed whispers of fear. The family lived in constant dread, always on edge, fearing the next outburst from Timothy. Their home, once a place of solace, had become a battleground. Their pleas for further investigation fell on deaf ears. Despite presenting their concerns and evidence, the authorities seemed reluctant to reopen the case. It was as if they were more interested in closing the file than seeking the truth. The police, satisfied with the initial findings, considered the case closed. They believed Timothy's version of events and saw no reason to dig deeper. To them, it was an open and shut case, but Molly's family refused to be silenced. They organized protests, held vigils, and used every platform available to voice their suspicions. Their determination was unwavering, fueled by love and a relentless pursuit of justice. They knew in their hearts that Timothy was responsible for her death. Every memory, every photograph of Molly was a painful reminder of the life that had been unjustly taken from them. They vowed to keep fighting for justice. No matter how long it took, no matter the obstacles, they were determined to uncover the truth and ensure that Timothy faced the consequences of his actions. Their love for Molly and their quest for justice became their guiding light in the darkest of times. A web of lies, unraveling the truth behind Molly's death. The story of Molly's untimely demise is one shrouded in mystery and deceit. What seemed like a straightforward case of accidental drowning soon unraveled into a complex web of lies and manipulation. With Timothy behind bars for assault, investigators finally took a second look at Molly's case. Timothy's arrest for a separate assault charge opened the door for a deeper investigation into Molly's death, which had been hastily ruled an accident. They re-examined the evidence, this time with a more critical eye. The initial investigation had overlooked several key details, but now, with fresh eyes and a renewed sense of purpose, the team was determined to uncover the truth. And what they found was chilling. The new evidence painted a far more sinister picture than anyone had anticipated. The forensics didn't add up. The inconsistencies in the forensic evidence were glaring, raising more questions than answers. The water temperature in the bathtub was inconsistent with a typical drowning. This discrepancy suggested that Molly's death might not have been an accident after all. There were signs of a struggle in the bathroom that had been overlooked. Broken glass and overturned objects indicated that Molly had fought for her life. And most damningly, a trace of a sedative was found in Molly's system, a sedative that Timothy was known to use. This crucial piece of evidence suggested that Molly had been drugged before her death. The investigation revealed a pattern of manipulation and control in Timothy's behavior toward Molly. He had a history of exerting control over her, isolating her from her support network. He had isolated her from friends and family, monitored her every move, and created an environment of fear and dependency, and gaslighted her into believing she was going crazy. Timothy's psychological manipulation was a key factor in understanding the dynamics of their relationship. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, painting a grim picture of a calculated crime masked as a tragic accident. The evidence now pointed to a premeditated act, meticulously planned and executed by Timothy. The detectives worked tirelessly, piecing together every bit of evidence, every clue, to build a solid case against Timothy. Their dedication and perseverance were crucial in uncovering the truth. The case eventually went to trial, where the prosecution presented the damning evidence against Timothy. The courtroom was tense as the jury listened to the harrowing details of Molly's final moments. In the end, justice was served. Timothy was found guilty of Molly's murder, bringing some semblance of closure to her grieving family and friends. Molly's death was a tragedy, but the relentless pursuit of truth by the investigators ensured that her story was told and her killer was brought to justice. Her memory lives on, a reminder of the importance of never giving up in the face of adversity. As the sun sets on this chapter, we are reminded that even in the darkest of times, the light of truth can shine through, bringing hope and closure to those left behind.